grand total is 356. And again, like a third are society members. And I threw this on here. I didn't have time to go back and dig up the old data, but I just wanted to throw this, and we'll kind of track this throughout time. But annual meeting attendance last year was 295. And then AFS in New York, again, not these categories, just both combined, were 258. And we had 37 non-members attend, just out of curiosity to see how many of those weren't affiliated with anything. So with that, I would like to turn it over to Dimitri to say a few words. So what we've done in the past is that the membership duties fall to the president and the secretary. And in some discussion, we think that more could be done if we kind of hand that piece off to an actual committee chair, ad hoc committee chair. And Dimitri has agreed to do it, and Carnes had agreed to accept that offer. And so Dimitri, I don't know if you want to say a few things, or?
Yeah, just quickly, I think, one of the priorities, is to make sure that we get more members. We're growing already without that, but I think, one of the steps we can do is look into who's not a member and why they stopped being a member, or how to, what is it, the 3 R's, right? Recruit, retention, reactivate. So I kind of want to take that approach, and I want it to become a little more personal, so that I can talk to people like to get this working for you and get you to be a happy member. It kind of falls in line also with national. I think getting people also to become national members as well as chapter members. There's a lot of services that we just heard about, and I think that's going to be my game plan. So try to get that to get rolling. So thanks.
So any questions on that? I know we kind of rifled through it, but everyone has a copy if there's any questions. Good. So hats off to Mark for the meeting last year.
Yep.
Nice work.
We don't need a motion to accept them.
No.
No, not yet, right. Okay, all right, so let's just roll through some of the brief committee reports. Jeff, could you just briefly say something about communications?
Sure. Obviously, we had some issues this morning with the microphones and whatnot that fell within the purview of handling the AV stuff. Wasn't our fault. The batteries were dead on the microphones here. We're recording all the talks so that they can be put on the YouTube channel that people actually use. There's been 40,000 plus views of talks from the last 4 years. I'll get these up in the next week or so. That's about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. Tim McNamara, could you please talk about your trials and tribs briefly? The annual meeting local arrangements.
It's been kind of difficult for getting this meeting because it's been growing a lot over the last week or so. Scott has taken great delight to torment our hostess here at the hotel by giving her these really inflated numbers. I don't know what to really say other than I hope everybody's having a good time and everything, food is good, and we'll get through this.
We will. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Melissa, maybe just a moment to talk about the program.
I haven't heard any complaints of people not being listed or talk or anything. It seems to be going okay.
Okay.
It's very diverse, which is nice.
Yes.
I like that we have a symposium too, which is great. And I just want to say I've never done this before, and I got so much help from everybody, from Karen and Tim and all the exec committee, even though they were furloughed, some of them, and even people submitting thoughts and posters.
Thank you. Okay, Scott George, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe a quick plug for the blog.
Sure. So we transitioned the newsletter to a science blog. We did that a few years ago. The goal is to get rolling submissions from the membership, just little science blurbs on what people are studying, maybe a paper they just published, and a project that just got off the ground. Scott Wilson, my best contributor. Thanks, Scott. But we had 17 submissions in 2018, so people are actually doing it. My vision is slowly coming to life. I guess according to Chris and formerly Eric, it's consistently in the top 3 or 4 most visited pages on our site, so that's very cool. I still would like to enlist all of your help in trying to get more participation. Chris has been awesome getting it to show up on our homepage, so we have, you know, photos and little blurbs, you know, teasers, and it's usually some of the most current stuff on our site, so getting it on the homepage is great. If you are a professor or if you work with students in any shape or form, I'm still reaching out to you to try to come up with a strategy to, you know, to get our students a little more involved in this. Obviously, my dream is that, you know, we put it in a curriculum that you have to do a submission before you finish a course or you get extra credit or something. But you know, I'm happy to discuss options with folks. You know, but I think it's a good, you know, students who may not have something that's ready to be published in, you know, a scientific journal. You know, if they can get something up, you know, about what they're doing, and, you know, get a little publicity, that's cool. So anyway, let's work together and make that happen.
There's a hand, yes, of course.
Scott, is there guidelines?
Yep.
Someplace on the site on like word count and pictures?
Yeah, and you know, ultimately it just gets submitted through an email to me and I put it up. But yeah, at the top of the site, Chris, I just sent you an email about this because it actually disappeared with our last update. But it formerly had said, just send me 3 to 6 sentences and a photo or a graph, and I'll put it up. So but yeah, we'll get that back up there shortly.
Okay, thank you. I can see a lab meeting right at home. Okay, quick update from Chris Castiglione, webmaster.
So the website, so I hope everybody visited the website because you registered for this conference. So you should have, when you did go there, so Jesse, I'm glad to say that we worked with the National Webmaster and they helped us bring over their template. So we have the branding of the National on our chapter website now. So we did that work this year to sort of have that same look and feel.
We're not, no, that's tonight.
This year, so for the past year, we had 52,000 visits and 28,000 visitors. So like about a 2-to-1 hits versus visitors kind of ratio. Our numbers are down a little bit from last year, but what I noticed is a little more flashier. So we have a lot more lulls in our website visits, but when they do hit our website, we have a lot more higher hit count. When they come, and that's stuff like Scott's science blog. Whenever we have stuff out there, we get really high hits. The highest hits we had this year were for the awards for our meeting. So there is a big bump around our annual meeting where a lot more people visit the site. So a lot of people are interested in awards. A lot of student presentation on there. Science blogs, if we get more information out there and more posts, I believe we'll probably get a lot more hits. So, and a quick note with the program, we did add an online abstract submission this year to the website. So we had a couple glitches based on geography and agency, but it's technology, so you know we roll with it. But I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, it was great, really great. All right, thank you. Okay, I'm going to skip through a couple things. Going to professional incentives, special awards. Ross Abbott isn't here, but we will be presenting 2 awards tonight. And then I'm going to ask Jim Daly to briefly say something about the workshop that has been postponed.
I apologize, there was no workshop this year, unfortunately, but I can talk about the workshop we're going to have. We had planned on having a stream passes workshop with Brett Bell from Fish and Wildlife Service. And the people I've spoken to have seen this workshop said it's really great, and he had something prepared for us to fit our half-day session. And then the government shut down kind of dragged those plans, so we couldn't do it. But we are looking at maybe having that workshop in the future. Maybe it's a standalone workshop over 2 days, like 2 half days, something like that. So we'll see how that pans out. If anybody has any ideas for workshops, please let me know. I said it every year, I get very little input, so feel free to let me know if you have good ideas.
Crafts brewing maybe?
In fact, if there are, I mean, what I picked up running this meeting was that there's a lot of, I mean, and I know this because I work in the Hudson Valley, but there's a lot of interest in the Hudson Valley about dams and fish passage and removal and stuff. So talk to your Hudson Valley colleagues here and sort of suss out whether they'd like to have a meeting around this area on fish passage if we bring back Brett, if we can arrange it with Brett. So talk amongst your friends. Brian, student subunit.
We had a good Clum Spindler Travel Award application session. Good judging here. Thank you all for that. Subunits are all doing great. Most of them are represented here, and the Cornell subunit, which had a little bit of a blip in service, just because these things happen, it got dropped, is back up and running with greater undergraduate participation than ever. Chloe Michaels, who is the absolute force behind that, couldn't be here because she's at a collegiate swimming championship. So, but I think she made the right choice. She's like a sophomore or something. She's crazy. You'll see her here soon. So we'll be working with them to make sure that we can put stuff in place to keep that subunit going. That's it.
Okay, and awards will be.
Oh, yes, sorry for the trick the awardees to come here to get your travel awards. We actually made a decision to do that at the banquet so everybody could better recognize you, but thank you for coming. So please make sure you come to the...
As I say, go Big Reds. Okay, let's see, Tom Hughes, are you here? Can we have a quick summary?
So these are aquatic education activities for this last year. We had a workshop in November, train aquatic resource education at Liberty Glass State Park on beautiful Otsego Lake. And our instructors were Dan Stitch from the Louisiana Biological Station, myself, and Kate Abbott, a former graduate student at USF. We had 19 participants, most collegiate students from various city schools, and despite it being an incredibly cold and windy day, we thought we did a good job delivering some training with regard to teaching kids about water quality, macroinvertebrates, fish ecology in the lake, ID, and we didn't do a sport fishing component in this particular workshop. Cost of the membership, our chapter, was about $9 per participant, a free workshop that we offer every time we do it. And I don't see Thad Yorks, but Hasmond Bay College and Thad suggested they would like to host one and do one with us in the fall of this coming year. So I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay, thank you. Tony David, could you please address Native American affairs?
Sure. So as far as attendance and representation at the chapter meeting, we have a total of 5 tribal members and/or tribal employees. They happen to all be from the St. Regis Mohawk tribe. But we continue.
With a little arm twisting.
Yeah, I actually have nothing to do with that. Just I'll take credit for it. But as far as recruitment and future participation, I did plug the chapter at last year's Indian Nation Leaders meeting, and I will do so again at this coming Indian Nation Leaders meeting, which is a gathering of the 6 nations within New York, EPA, and the DEC. So we'll continue to try and recruit for participation.
Thank you for that report. Let's see, I think Randy, we don't really have much, do we? Is Randy here?
Right here.
There we are. Do you have something to
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. The annual resolution submitted to me this past year to be looked at. And secondly, there are no significant environmental issues which have come forth to discuss at this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Very nice, short and sweet. Nominating, so that would be Mark.
That's me. So one final job past president has to do is nominate the next president-elect. And then I rotate off XCOM, so it's a 3-year gig for those of you who want to do it. We have one nominee, and that's Dr. Daniel Stitch. He's sitting right back there with glasses. Dan is professor, fisheries professor at the Biological Field Station at SUNY Oneonta in the Lake Management Program. Do I need to call for other nominations from the floor? So are there other nominations from the floor who want to run this? So hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to have the secretary cast one vote for Dan Stitch.
I move. I second.
Third.
All in favor?
Aye. Opposed? You're in. congratulations, I think. Our historian, do you have any history to relate?
The only thing I have to say is anybody who has helped run a meeting, program coordinators, local and rangers, be in touch with me. I will reach out to you. I'm going to resurrect that, the meeting guidelines, if you will. And I think we have a template from another group that we're going to start using. But I think it's important. Try to get it done.
Okay, thank you. Stacy, could you briefly say something about the diversity?
Oh, you bet. So I've been in this role for about 2 years now, so not very long. And I'm happy to report that this year we were able to roll out our first ever diversity-based travel award. So we'll be handing that out later this evening at the banquet. We also sort of, with the help of Hannah LaChance from UVM, we sort of held an impromptu women in fisheries breakfast. And it was pretty well attended. So we had like 15, maybe 18 people. So I think moving forward next year, I'm going to work with Susan, our soon-to-be president, to maybe make that an official sanctioned event. Okay. But otherwise, diversity is looking good.
Excellent, excellent. I'm very happy to hear it because when I started,
It's far
wasn't very close.
What, just you?
I would like to, yeah. So I would like now to ask the past presidents and any actually president that's in the past, I guess, any part of AFS, but particularly the New York chapter, to please stand up and be recognized. Yes. Here, but I would like to call up Tim. Please come up. And Melissa. And Chris. Could you please come up? And Scott Schluter. Get away from that computer, please. Come to the front. It's not bad, really. I did have this little one from France for a reason. It was to give you Bordeaux wine. Here you go. Thank you guys so much for all the work that you did. And honestly, they made the meeting happen 95%. So, with that, I think I am done with old business. And, you can share. When in doubt, Bordeaux is good. So, I think at this point, we now, we've talked about the past meeting. Do we need a summary of that, or are we good at this point?
I gave the financial component.
Yeah, I can just briefly say that it was a great meeting last year. Really, really good. We had a lot of, it was again in a snowstorm, as often happens in the worst time of the year in central New York. But people had an excellent time, and we had the second highest number of attendees after this meeting here. So I think that's probably it. And then the new business is that I believe we now escort the president-elect up. And I don't know if I get to do that with somebody else of your choice?
Past president.
Pardon? Past president. Okay, I'm still president. Protocol.
We have a song?
You got it, Scott? I got it. Yeah.
Got a picture?
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Congratulations. And here you go.
All right. There is a hand. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, as my first duty as president of this wonderful chapter, I have to thank Karen for her service the last year or last 2 years, and you will continue as past president next year, this coming year. But We want to thank you for a great meeting so far and for all of those conference calls and emails and everything else. So, Karen, thank you very much. Okay, and now I have to go back and get my. And Jeff comes and helps.
Pick group.
No.
I know how to plug it in, Jeff, if there's any problems.
Okay.
Unless you want.
Okay. Well, so I just wanted to introduce myself to those of you who I don't know. I am very honored to have this position and look forward to planning the next year's meeting. It's been really fun being in on the last year of intricacies of how a chapter runs and also to how to put a meeting together. Really excited about this handbook that's coming our way or that you're putting together because it's an important job and there's lots of details. So I work at Hobart and William Smith Colleges in Geneva. I also work very closely with the Finger Lakes Institute, who oversees education, research, and outreach related to water in the Finger Lakes. And all 12 of the I should have put that up there. All 12 of the Finger Lakes have a lot of water, and we provide water for Rochester City and all the surrounding areas. And in that, it's a great place to study fish. And do we have a clicker? Is it Sorry.
It's not needed down.
Or I'll just click the button.
Or you can just do the button.
So I was a Tidewater member, of the Tidewater student chapter member back at University of Maryland in my PhD. And so I'm excited to hear all the students that are coming to the meetings, but it is an interesting, definitely interesting trend in moving forward. These hopefully will be future students of fisheries, at least one of them probably will. But my focus in the past 10, 15 years has been streams, stream fish, stream habitats, and it crosses a variety of things, including parasites, mercury contamination now, restoration of streams, and particularly trout streams, as well as my PhD was on urbanization. So this is where I like to spend my days with the electrofisher on my back. And for that reason, I am really interested in climate change. I'm teaching a seminar on that at Hobart and William Smith Colleges right now, in particular related to water and all of the related climate impacts that we've heard so much about today. It was a great plenary session and a lot of sessions referring to climate change. So as we know, there's some problems out there that we're trying to deal with. But I think that we can do something about this because the EPA says that if we actually mitigate both for freshwater fish habitat, that we can actually change the amount of projected warming in in our future. And particularly, whoops, wrong button. Particularly in, I don't know what I just did. I know.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff. Okay, we're back, sorry. And in particular, I would propose to bring next year's meeting back to Lake Placid to focus on cold water fisheries and climate change. I grew up in Schenectady, New York. The Adirondacks were always in my backyard. It's a little bit further away now outside of Rochester, but I get any chance I can get to the Adirondacks. And I think it would be a great place. We've had a lot of successful meetings there, both as a chapter and at a national level. And I think it would be a great place to host. So, in light of that, we did again. The budget. this is not my forte, but luckily we have lots of people to help out with these things. I propose that based on the money coming in and the money going out, that the 2020 meeting would be about $30,000. The money coming in from this meeting, proposing about $33,000. We have had a great, I hope that we can get a great raffle again. I hope that my raffle tonight does really well. I'm really excited. There's lots of great contributions. And hopefully we can get a workshop out there, whether it be on fish passage or statistics or other topics that other people have any interest in. Please let me know. We continue to get money from the Fish Atlas, and therefore, looking forward, most of these expenses are about the same as they are every year. The only thing that's different is that I believe, well, we didn't have a NED officer meeting expense because NED is here for Karin, so that's back on the board. I do plan to go to the Reno meeting and present on my trout restoration work, and we've always graciously accepted donations and other expenditures. So that's the proposal. There's always lots of changes, but that's that. So I think that I next ask for a motion to approve this budget.
I put out a motion to approve the budget.
Second? Any discussion? Doug?
You want a second? You were looking for a second, or you already got it? Okay. Good. You're good. You got a double
Excuse
second.
me. No discussion? Okay. So all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The budget is approved. Thank you. And
New business.
I think that's it on my side.
Any other
I make a
new
motion to adjourn.
Any seconds? Thank you.
Oh, wait, new business.
New business. Oh, other new business.
I withdraw my motion.
Scott's excited. Any new business for the chapter? Yes, Doug, thank you, I'm so sorry.
Last year we were looking at addressing the on the act that was supposed to go through Congress called Restoring Wildlife. I can't read it all there. And we tabled a motion. I think Margaret said that there was going to be a webinar. Did they ever put that act up on for a vote in Congress?
I can answer the question.
Okay.
I attended the webinar through my computer. I contacted a number of representatives in the area on behalf of the chapter, my local House of Representatives helped support the bill, and the bill has been passed.
It has been passed?
Yes.
Oh, great.
It's warm, but that's okay.
Good to be president.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Thank you.
So, you got your question answered?
Yeah.
Okay.
Passed.
Great.
Got it.
Okay, any other new business? Okay. Is there a motion to
Institute my motion.
adjourn the meeting? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No, that's okay, I'm sorry.